Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is a Friday night. I am chilling on my bed and I thought I best get some videos recorded because I'm being super duper slack. I do have some exciting horsey content coming up, but my life isn't just horses, and I think I'm trying to cover that through this channel. I'm not doing a great job, let's face it. YouTube doesn't take front and center in my life. My family and my work and my horses do. So one thing that is kind of taken front and center in our lives is that we are trying to build a house. We've been trying to build a house since December 2019, and trying to build a house through a pandemic is actually proving quite difficult. So obviously we're not building it ourselves. We are building it through a building company. So I thought I would just share with you guys the journey that we have been on. I've got some pictures of the block and how it's looking now and how far along we are, and just the timeline of what has gone on. So let's get into the video. Alrighty guys, so like I just said, December 2019, Trent and I put a deposit down on a 520 something square meter block. I will find it and put it here or anywhere on the screen. But we put a deposit down on this block in a development that is still in the suburb that my parents live in, but it's actually down in the town centre. So obviously we're not fitting horses on 500 square metres. But we really wanted to put our foot in the door of the property market and build our first family home, and then use that in the future to be able to buy our acreage where we can have the horses and have our forever home, etc. So that all happened in the December. In the December, we also signed with a building company. We found a house design that suited us, and we got in contact and we went and met over Christmas, and it was all really exciting. Now, obviously, we knew at the time that I was expecting, and we obviously hadn't told anyone yet. That didn't happen until the January. So we were also directed, what's the word I'm going for? I don't know, suggested that we didn't tell the banks that I was preggo, because they didn't know whether that was going to be like a deciding factor, because we would have a dependent and we look better without one. So anyway, we signed with this builder and life is good. We are saving. We already knew we were going to fall short of the March, I think it was the end of March 2020 that we had to have the deposit together and finance approved. So we already knew we were going to fall short by a couple of $1,000, but we also knew that me working full-time, Trent working full-time FIFO, we knew we could pull that money together pretty quickly. So we already knew we were going to have to ask for an extension, and we were just going to ask for like a 30-day extension. That's all we needed. And then March 2020 hit Australia, and I think it hit the whole world really, didn't it? So that's when the world really went crazy with lockdowns and the times that we lived in with COVID. So we here in Western Australia have been uber duper lucky, but it still affected us at the beginning. So it was actually March the 18th. I took the day off. It's Trent's birthday. Picked him up from the airport. We had a beautiful day together. And then the next day, which was a Thursday, I went into work and was told the track was closing. If you all didn't know, I work at a car racetrack, and we didn't know what we were doing about jobs. So obviously panic stations. We're about to sign on finance for a house. Like, all of our savings that we might potentially have to live off are sitting there about to leave and about to go and sign for this house. So Trent and I sat down, had a chat. What did we want to do? Me wanting to play it safe. I wanted to pull the pin on both the house and the land. And obviously this was the universe telling us that this wasn't the one for us. It wasn't the house and it wasn't the land for us, and that, it would all come in time. So we approached the land developers, and we also approached the building company. Land developers, super cool. They understood straight away. He offered us a 3-month extension. I then explained, well, we'll have a baby due around then, so I don't know where we'll be at. And he was like, that's fine. We'll revisit it in 3 months' time. And if you're still happy to not build with like Kia, that's fine. If you do want to build and you're ready, or if you just need a little bit more time, that's fine also. We'll sort it out. So they were great. They really understood. Apparently they're a family owned or family run business, so they get it. Family comes first. Building company wasn't so great. The sales guy was angry at us and was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I got in contact with you. I went to work the Thursday. I got in contact with you on the Friday, and then we're meeting now, which is like the Monday or the Tuesday, the next week. And yeah, he wasn't happy with us. So we went away and we definitely pulled the pin on him. The way he reacted and the way he made me feel, he was like, this is your fault. All right, matey, no worries. See you later. So pulled the pin on the building company, but we had this extension on the land. So we decided that we were just going to wait it out. Then in the May, we came across a house plan that with a different building company that was perfect for us. We approached them, we went in, we spoke about it, we paid a deposit, and we explained our situation, that we were not going to be in a position to go wham bam, let's get this done. And they were okay with that. And then I think it was in the June, the Australian government and the West Australian government announced these 2 grants. So one was for $20,000 and one was for $25,000. And if you signed within like the beginning of June and I think it was December, you were eligible for these grants. So got in contact, they were like, yep, fabulous. Like, we haven't even got the contract here yet. You've only got your preliminary one. And all the contract was that we had was the one that's like, we're not going to go to another building company and get them to build this house for cheaper, blah, 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 blah. So we're waiting, we're saving. We obviously have Evie. I'm now obviously not working. We're on my paid parental leave, and life's just plodding along. It was 14th of August 2020 that we submitted all of our paperwork to get a mortgage for finance. And then we waited until the 18th of September to actually get the building contract from the building company. And then they didn't sign it, I think, until like the 23rd, 24th of September. So in that time, the bank's gone, we're getting really close to her paid parental leave ending. It's too much for liability. We need her to definitely return to work and prove that she is returning to work after her paid parental leave. I wasn't going to. We were comfortable enough that I didn't need to go back to work, and I was going to be a stay-at-home mum, or I was going to start my own business, or I was going to make YouTube work for me. But I had to have a payslip and I had to return to work. I couldn't return to work until the January of 2021, explained all of that, and the banks were like, okay, everything goes on hold until then. So we'd already done our pre-start. We'd already picked everything out with the house. And then in the December of 2020, Celebration Homes, which is who we're building with, dropping it out there, contacted us to say that, look, there's been price increases since you first signed with us. It's been such a long time. You're going to have to pay it. So Trent handled the conversation and he was like, oh, it's only a couple $1,000s. We'll save and we'll like pay it off. And then my mortgage broker, when it came around in January, I needed to provide 2 pay slips and I get paid weekly. So it was 2 weeks, done. There's my pay slips. And when I spoke to the mortgage broker, he was like, oh, what's this extra money here? Do you want me to just add that to the mortgage? And he was like, and I can also see another like addition here. You did that as a variation at your pre-start. I was like, oh yeah, we added this, we added that, we took this in, blah, 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 blah. And it did, it came to a couple of $1,000s. And he was like, well, how about instead of you having to find that lump sum when it's come time to hand the keys over, why don't you add it to your mortgage? It'll like, you need to pay, I think it was like an extra $500 at the time. Now, if anybody's been watching my videos, you'd know that around that time, I actually sold my horse float. So thank goodness I sold my horse float, because that money actually went boom, straight into the house. I ended up being more than $500. But anywho, that money went straight into the house, which was like, thank the Lordy, I sold my horse float at the time. Then it was, I think, mid-March, Celebration Homes touched base with our mortgage broker and was like, hey, we all set for everything going well. Does their finance cover the cost for the build? Yes, fabulous, blah, 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 blah. Came around to 20th of April, we reached settlement. Finally, how exciting is that bit of a hurdle to get over? So we already had pre-approval. We already had like finance approved. We just needed to reach settlement. Done. 20th of April, we reached settlement, which was so exciting. Then we waited. And we waited. And 5.5 weeks later, Trent received a phone call from Celebration Homes saying that we needed to come in for a meeting because there'd been a price increase and it was a substantial amount and they weren't willing to disclose it over the phone. He was on night shift, so they woke him up thinking that he wasn't sleeping during the day and working at night. So I received a very angry phone call from Trent saying they need more money, blah, 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 blah. So I rang them. The poor guy on the phone, he must, like, it would suck bringing this news to people. He explained that building costs have gone up, which obviously I knew, and they've come now to order all of the building materials for our build, and they've realized that they're out of pocket by a lot of money, and we needed to find the money. And he wouldn't disclose the amount in that first conversation. I went home that night and just stressed and was an anxious ball and felt horrible. I actually tried to record because I was trying to do this in a series as things actually happened, but I was just not feeling it. Next day, he rang me and finally disclosed the amount of money, and it was $28,000. Where the hell am I going to pull $28,000? We have just busted our balls to get that amount of money as our deposit, and it has taken us like 12 months to do so. So where am I going to pull that kind of money from? So managed to keep talking to him. We came up with ideas. He spoke to his manager and they dropped it to $20,000. So that was on the Friday, and then we met for, actually, I think I had a phone conversation with him the Tuesday night, and we just like covered everything. And he was like, what do I need to bring to the meeting on Wednesday that will ease you and Trent and make sure that you know that you're building with the right company? And I was just like, we just want to know a breakdown of where these costs are going. These costs haven't all of a sudden jumped up at you. Why in March did you contact our mortgage broker and confirm that the full amount of money that was needed for the build was there in the mortgage? And then this, however many months later, you then come back going, oh, by the way, we've got a really big price increase. And how? $28,000? How? Anyway, speaking to him then, he dropped in that he was like, oh, we see that you're eligible for the grants. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, have you put your application in? Yeah. Obviously, you don't get the grants until you can prove construction has started, so slab down. That's when you get the grants. So that also comes later on in the story. So he suggested that maybe we use the grants to pay the $20,000. Then he suggested that we got a loan with their favorite finance company, and we're like, we can't lend, we can't borrow any more money. We don't want any more debt owed to our name. We checked in with our bank to see if we could add it to the mortgage, and we couldn't because we hadn't made any mortgage repayments, so everything like that. Finally, the price came down, so it came down to $17,500, and we agreed, fine, we'll use our grant money to pay that $17,500. Signed up with their finance company that paid them the $17,500, and when our grants come through, they go to the finance company, and then they take the $17,500 out and they give us back what is owed to us. So then it takes us to August. 12th of August, we had a slab go down. Yay! And that following weekend, it was beautiful weather, and we had a little slab party with our immediate family and friends, which was fabulous, and it was a really nice little event for us. And Miss Evie actually took some of her first steps on our slab that day, and that was just very, very special. Then nothing's happened. Nothing has happened until the beginning of October. Actually, I think it was the very, very end of September. bricks started to arrive. So we've got bricks sitting there, and then I think it was like the beginning of October, because we were back from our little trip away, we had window frames. Woohoo! And that's it. That's as far as our house has gotten. I will insert photos as well, obviously, of what I've got along the way. We don't expect to have a brick laying team until mid to late November, and it is now mid-October. So yeah, that's frustrating. And we don't have the grants yet. So I did all of the paperwork for the grants, got everything that needed to be done, and then just kind of touched base with them and was like, yo, do you need anything else from us? And they're like, oh, actually we do. We've only just come to doing your application now. And we need this, this, and this. And it was all stuff that we didn't even have. The building company had. So we managed to get that. The building company was great. They sent it through within like 5-10 minutes of me asking for it. Boom, sent through to the government grant people. And they've come back with, okay, it's moved to the next stage of processing. You know, that's it. We don't need anything more from you now. You just wait. It's like, so that is our story of trying to build a house through the pandemic. We have a whole load of bricks. We have a concrete slab and a pile of window and door frames. I do keep saying and keep joking, oh, how hard can it be to lay a brick? I'll just go do it. Obviously, I'm joking. I have no idea what I'm doing. I do building blocks with my daughter. So yeah, that's where we're up to with the house build. I'm excited to be able to do an update when we've got more happening. I am not liking our chances of having anything happen before Christmas, because let's face it, Christmas is a downtime for everyone. Plus our Christmas here in Australia, if anybody doesn't know, is our summertime, and where we live it gets to like 40+ degrees Celsius. So yeah, but anyway, that's where we're up to. That's our little story of us building our house through a pandemic. Fingers crossed. All I want is to be able to be in by Evie's second birthday. I wanted to be in by her first. That never happened. I wanted to be in by her second Christmas. That's not going to happen. That's 2 months away. So yeah, I'm just really hoping that we will be in by her second birthday. That would be really, 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 really special for us to be able to celebrate that. And if we don't make it in by then, hopefully we're in by her, what's that, third Christmas. So yeah, just thought I would do a quick little sit down video for you guys on our journey, and hopefully it's going to speed up from here. But give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like just give me some love on this channel. She's a little empty. Anyway, bye guys.